In a moment of historic significance for India and the world, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Vantara project in Jamnagar, Gujarat, a visionary wildlife rescue and rehabilitation initiative that's being hailed as one of the largest and most advanced animal welfare projects in the world. Vantara, meaning star of the forest or haven for the voiceless, has been designed to provide a safe and natural refuge for injured, abandoned, or endangered animals while promoting conservation, education, and sustainability. What is the Vantara project? Conceived under the leadership of Anant Ambani, the youngest son of industrialist Mukesh Ambani, Vantara, spread across over 3,000 acres within Reliance's Jamnagar campus, is a unique blend of compassion, technology, and environmental commitment. Its core mission: rescue and rehabilitate distressed animals, conserve endangered species, provide long-term care in an environment that mimics their natural habitat. The sanctuary houses elephants, lions, leopards, crocodiles, bears, birds, and many rare wildlife species rescued from circuses, illegal captivity, or injury. The grand inauguration and Modi's speech during the inauguration. PM Modi emphasized India's deep cultural bond with nature and animals. India has always taught the world that caring for every living being is a sacred duty, he said. Vantara is not just a project. It is a reflection of India's soul, compassion, and global responsibility toward the planet. He lauded Anant Ambani's vision, calling the project a living temple of love, kindness, and ecological harmony. Anant Ambani's dream, compassion for the voiceless, speaking at the event. Anant Ambani emotionally shared his journey behind Vantara. Since childhood, I have felt a deep connection with animals. I always wanted to build a place where injured, abused, or abandoned animals could live with dignity, receive care, and experience freedom again. He explained that Vantara is not a zoo, but a rescue, rehabilitation, and rewilding center. A place where animals are treated, healed, and, when possible, reintroduced into the wild. Anant highlighted that over 2,000 animals have already been rescued and rehabilitated through the project's initiatives. A model for global environmental protection designed on global environmental standards. Vantara features a world-class veterinary hospital with specialized care units, wildlife rescue centers and research laboratories for ecological and behavioral studies, education zones to raise awareness about conservation among students and visitors. It aims to set a benchmark for sustainable development and climate action, combining traditional Indian respect for nature with modern conservation science. Technology and innovation at the heart of Vantara. The project integrates advanced technology for animal care and monitoring. Each animal's health is tracked with AI-based digital monitoring systems. 24/7 surveillance and behavior tracking ensure the animal's safety and comfort. Habitats are recreated with precision, from climate control to soil composition, so that animals feel they are truly back in the wild. Moreover, Vantara runs entirely on renewable energy, using solar power and water recycling systems to maintain a zero-emission, sustainable ecosystem. Empowering the local community beyond conservation, Vantara is also transforming the local economy. Thousands of people from Jamnagar and nearby villages are now employed as veterinarians and animal care technicians, ecologists and conservation researchers, wildlife guides, and ecotourism coordinators. This initiative promotes not just wildlife welfare, but also inclusive development, giving rural communities a meaningful role in protecting nature. PM Modi's message to the world in his closing remarks. Prime Minister Modi said, "When humanity takes care of nature, nature returns that kindness with peace, prosperity, and balance." Vantara is India's gift to the planet and a sanctuary of hope and harmony. He invited international collaboration in environmental initiatives and urged nations to adopt the principles of compassion-driven conservation. Global recognition and praise. Soon after its inauguration, Vantara received global acclaim. UNESCO, and the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, praised it as a revolutionary model for wildlife protection. Global conservationists hailed it as the future of humane wildlife care. International media described it as a new standard for ethical conservation in the modern world. A vision beyond borders. Vantara's broader mission extends beyond India. Its leadership envisions partnering with global zoos and wildlife agencies for endangered species exchange and rehabilitation, hosting international training programs for veterinarians and conservationists, launching a global awareness campaign promoting kindness to animals and environmental responsibility. Conclusion. A new chapter in India's environmental story with Vantara. India has taken a decisive step toward redefining humanity's relationship with nature. It's more than a sanctuary. It's a movement, symbolizing that compassion and progress can coexist. In a world grappling with climate crises and biodiversity loss, Vantara shines as a beacon of hope, reminding us that protecting life in every form is the truest expression of civilization. The sun had just risen over Jamnagar's golden horizon when the convoy of cars entered the vast green expanse of the Reliance campus. In the heart of this desert-turned oasis stood Vantara, a paradise born from vision, science, and boundless compassion. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi stepped out, the air filled with applause, chants, and the distant trumpet of elephants greeting the morning. Standing beside him was Anant Ambani, his eyes gleaming with pride. Not the pride of achievement, but of purpose fulfilled. The making of a miracle. The journey of Vantara had begun nearly a decade ago, not as a business plan, but as a dream of healing. When Anant Ambani visited a rescue center years ago, he was heartbroken to see injured elephants chained, malnourished lions behind rusted bars, and birds struggling in tiny cages. He returned with a mission to create a sanctuary where no creature would ever suffer again. For years, teams of engineers, architects, veterinarians, and wildlife experts worked tirelessly to transform barren land into a thriving natural habitat. Over 3,000 acres of dry terrain were reshaped into forests, wetlands, grasslands, and lakes, each designed to mimic the ecosystem of the animals it would host. Every tree was planted with intention, every pond was carved with care. And slowly, the miracle began to take shape. Healing with humanity as PM Modi toured the facility. He was shown the state-of-the-art veterinary hospital, a world unlike any other. Here, doctors use AI-powered health scanners, 3D imaging, and robotic surgery tools to treat animals that once faced certain death. An elephant recovering from a leg injury was being gently massaged by a caretaker. A rescued leopard cub, once abandoned in the wild, was sleeping peacefully under an infrared lamp. Dr. Nivedita Sharma, head of veterinary operations, told the Prime Minister, "Sir, we don't just treat them, we teach them to live again. Every animal here is a story of resilience." Modi nodded, visibly moved. "This," he said softly, "is true service to life itself." The technology of nature at Vantara. Technology and nature walk hand in hand. Hidden cameras track animal movement, thermal drones monitor body temperature, and AI systems analyze behavior to detect early signs of illness or stress. The goal is not control, it is care. Even the enclosures are invisible. There are no cages, no concrete walls, just natural boundaries, rivers, and forest buffers that create freedom within safety. To power this vast ecosystem, the entire facility runs on solar energy. Recycled water irrigates the land. Every leaf and drop counts, Anant Ambani explains. We built Vantara not to show human power, but to show human humility. Technology here serves nature and not the other way around. The spiritual dimension later that day, under the shade of a massive banyan tree, Modi addressed a small gathering of monks, scientists, and school children. He spoke not as a politician, but as a guardian of India's spiritual connection with the earth. In our scriptures, he said, we see God in every living being, from the mighty elephant to the smallest ant. When we care for nature, we care for ourselves. Vantara is a temple, not built of stone, but of compassion. The crowd fell silent. The only sound was the rustling of leaves and the distant hum of the sanctuary. Lives transformed. The success of Vantara is not just measured in acres or buildings, but in lives saved. Over 200 elephants rescued from circuses and illegal trade now roam freely here. Hundreds of birds have been rehabilitated and re-released into the skies of Gujarat. A pair of rare Asiatic lions, once on the brink of death, have given birth to 3 healthy cubs, a sign of hope and renewal. Caretakers, many of whom are local villagers, speak of how their own lives have changed. Where once they worked in salt mines or factories, they now nurture animals with love and pride. One of them, Ramesh Bhai, says, "Earlier I worked with machines. Now I work with hearts. These animals are our family, Global partnerships envision international experts from WWF, National Geographic, and UNEP now collaborate with Vantara to study animal behavior, genetics, and climate resilience. The facility has also launched an educational program, allowing young students from across India to visit, learn about biodiversity, and understand the delicate balance between progress and preservation. Anant Ambani plans to expand Vantara's reach globally, creating a network of wildlife sanctuaries connected through research and compassion. He envisions a future where no injured animal anywhere in the world remains uncared for. PM Modi's reflection as evening approached. PM Modi stood on a wooden deck overlooking the sanctuary's vast green fields. The wind carried the scent of earth and rain, and in the distance a herd of elephants walked peacefully toward the setting sun. Turning to the gathered crowd, Modi said, "This is not just a project, it is India's message to the world. We can build industries, we can reach the moon, and we can still protect the life that walks this earth with us. True progress is when compassion becomes our greatest strength." The beginning of a new era as the lights of Jamnagar twinkled in the distance. Vantara stood as a living symbol of what humanity can achieve when heart meets purpose. The inauguration wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a revolution in wildlife care and ecological consciousness. In the quiet of the night, under a starlit sky, the sanctuary came alive, birds returning to nests, lions calling in the distance, and the whisper of leaves echoing a single truth. When humanity protects nature, nature protects humanity.